You know and I know, and I'm thinking back, I'm old enough to remember Son of Sam, and when that hit the papers, everybody got very curious about Untermeyer Park, which was not in the state that it's in right now. And you had kids going there because it was spooky, it had a history, and I'm afraid that we're going to attract, not gangs now, because they're not going to go near that building right now, because they know these gentlemen are out there looking for them. I'm concerned about young kids going in there because they want, they're intrigued by the whole thing, and it's something that, you know, they can brag about perhaps. I want to know that that building is secure now. And the other thing is, I really think because people are not, kids are going to go there because they're curious. The gangs aren't going to go there. We've now pushed the gangs somewhere else probably because we're focusing on that. I'm concerned about the other buildings. The other buildings that are vacant and open, that they're going to migrate through. And I think the first thing we need to do is secure your building. And the second thing we need to do is to get a list of those buildings that can be accessed and get them to our police department. So while our guys are out there on patrol, they can keep an eye out on those buildings because now we're pushing people somewhere else. That's my humble opinion. It's the immediate. Long term, we know that, Mr. Bostic, you have been working very, very hard on the gang situation, and certainly we have our division here, and that's something that needs to continue. But I think the immediacy of the building, what we saw in it, we've got to get that building secure, and it's got to be secure pronto.
Well, through the chair, if I can finish, nobody wanted to tear down into my park with the same sense, so we shouldn't tear it down, we should secure it.
That's what it needs to be secured, but our other buildings need to be secured as well, but they also need to be identified so that these gentlemen could do their job effectively and make sure that kids aren't going into any other buildings, because I don't want to pick up the paper or see on News 12 next week that this is now going on in some other building, because we haven't gotten our stock in order and alerted our police department and, where these possibilities are. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's okay.
Can you tell me how the building is secured?
Well, once again, obviously creating a road which allows the police to drive back. Literally much more secure.
But that's not going to happen
Secondly,
tomorrow.
Councilman, with all due respect, you have an unoccupied building. No matter what you do, you will not secure it against someone who's going to come there with tools and intent. I mean, that's a reality. The reality is the answer to the problem is developed. And what I'm trying to say
with all due
here,
respect, you've had that building for 30 years.
yes, and it's been zoned industrial. And we are on the verge of this. I don't think we're in disagreement. I mean, we're all in agreement that we want to see that property developed. What I'm trying to give you are the keys to opening the door to major developers. We have 3 or 4 we're talking about. Give you the keys to make that development happen. I mean, unless you don't, if you don't want it to happen,
Sir,
then,
I
won't waste my time.
But we're not talking about development this
But
evening.
that is
We're talking about
that's
the
your
safety.
answer. Don't you see
Yes.
the Reverend said that? And the Reverend was absolutely correct. When you have unoccupied
Sir,
buildings,
I will tell you, 30 years you've had the building, develop it. I want to know right now, is it secure? Somebody please tell me, is that building secure?
The answer is no. My inspector was there late this afternoon. The property is still accessible. I have pictures here that show the points of entry, which I shared with Mr. Capolino. And that's as of late this afternoon.
Well, we are, if you allow me to finish, we are without a doubt working on these things. There are some that are not as easy. Once again, as I explained, if you secure the perimeter, you've actually secured the building. See, we're really talking about 2 different things here. If you can't get into the site, you can't get into the building. And I think that as we secure the perimeter, that's where your security is
So are you fencing it?
It is fenced. What you have to understand is that the fences have been cut. There are places that the commissioner pointed out to me, which need to be addressed, but there are fences. I mean, one of the pictures he showed me is actually the city's fence on the JFK Marine. And the other place where you can just walk around is the MTA fence. I mean,
So do we need to get a hold of the MTA and tell them?
well, I think they should definitely be part of the
It sounds like
discussion.
Mr. Capolino should put up his own fence and secure his property.
Well,